Happy Thursday. I've had my little guy home with me all week. It's his first day back to school, and I am kind of out of orientation of what day it actually is. I know on Monday I was pondering emotions and everything, and now today I feel like it's probably a good idea to talk about success and how we can try not to wrap our identity up in our success. I meet on Thursday mornings with a lovely group of women. We do Bible study. We've been through quite a few different studies, and currently we're going through a study on the book of Ecclesiastes. The author of Ecclesiastes is King Solomon, and he is known as the world's wisest man. He asked God for wisdom, and God gave him wisdom. And Ecclesiastes starts out with King Solomon toiling with vanity, and he had everything that he could have possibly needed or wanted, including 700 wives and 300 concubines. He was able to drink himself silly and just have all of this vanity, for lack of a better word, and he was left with emptiness. And as we go through this study, it's just there's this parallel of the things we seek in today's life, the things we seek, and what are we looking to have those things do. Generally speaking, I would imagine that we're looking to fill voids in our life. A lot of anxieties over paying bills and inflation and the size of our home and just the type of car you drive. It's all very worldly, if you can think about it. Yet we all kind of fall victim to it if you think about it. So where does that leave us? And then we want to kind of maybe pause and step back and say, what am I seeking these things for? Am I seeking them for my own fulfillment? Maybe you're seeking them for your kids to have a good life and to be happy. It could be any number of things, really. But, if you step back a little bit and think, am I out to please myself or am I out to please God? You might find that your daily routines, or the things that pull your attention, those are kind of the driving force behind the things that fill you. And if you think, as King Solomon put it, it was all vanity. It left you with emptiness. And I think that could be true today as well. I mean, a lot of the things that we put our strong efforts and attention into, oftentimes at the end of the road, you might be left feeling kind of empty too. And on top of feeling empty, there's probably some stress in there too, and just anxiety, and just this need to keep up. And even if you're not trying to keep up with the Joneses, are you trying to just keep up with your own way of doing life? Maybe it's just too much. And Galatians 6:9 came up, and it's funny because oftentimes when scripture comes up, either in Bible study or in church, I kind of laugh at the fact that I had just read that verse right before that. So I always feel like the Lord is very, very close with the message that he's trying to hit me upside the head with. But anyways, Galatians 6:9, going off of memory, but it says, "Do not grow weary in doing good, for in due time you will reap the harvest of your work." And don't grow weary in doing good, I would take as the good for who? If I'm trying to just do good for myself, I may not grow weary, but am I doing good? If I'm just serving myself, Am I doing good? So that's just something to think about. There was another verse that came to mind, and it goes along the same lines. Oh, I was going to tell a story about, so just the other day, my husband and I were having a conversation, and he is a brilliant provider. He goes to work faithfully every single day. He works as an electrician, a self-employed electrician, so he loves going to work and doing a good job, and his customers love him because he shows up with integrity, and he shows up with true knowledge of the art of electricity and wiring, and just keeping people safe, knowing codes. He really puts a lot of effort into doing things the right way. And I pulled out Joshua 1 and read it to him. And then, of course, Joshua 1:9 is a well-known verse. Be strong and courageous. I don't know why I'm blanking, but there's more to the verse. But be strong and courageous is the overall theme of it. And I read it to him as an encouragement. And wouldn't you know then, the next day I was going through my calendar, and of course the verse for the month of May was Joshua 1:9. And then on top of that, in reflection of Joshua 1, I brought up the Great Commission, which I believe is found in Matthew. But I was reading through my book, Praying the Scriptures for Your Children by Jody Burnt. At the end of each chapter are scripture verses, and you read through the verse, but there are blank spots where you can put your children's names in. So it's a great book. But of course, the prayers that I was reading for my children yesterday as well were the one about the Great Commission in Matthew. The scripture came up in the prayers that I was reading for my kids. And so there again, it's just God is so present. And when you are seeking to do His will, bring it back to the topic of today's conversation, when you're seeking to obey Him, and you're seeking to follow His ways, and you're seeking to essentially please Him through your actions, you will be filled up. So essentially we can umbrella the theme by saying, if I'm going to be serving myself, and I'm going to be just enjoying every piece of life with drinking and eating and going out and having relationships with people, sexual relations with people, to be more blunt, I'm going to be left empty, and it's vanity. But if I'm working to do good in my days, and I'm working to serve others and love others and serve God and please God, I will not be empty, and it will be a simpler life. I won't have all of the excess of things and busyness and being distracted. But the things that will remain are the things that actually mean something, and those things will not leave you empty because they're God's things. And God is the source of life. He is the one who will fill us up at the end of the day, and the beginning of the day, and yesterday and tomorrow too. So that's the encouragement. You can seek to do God's will, and you can seek to love others the way He loves us, and you can seek to know His ways, and there will be fruit for that. There will be blessings. There will be fulfillment on a level that you can't possibly picture when you're chasing after the other things that leave you empty. So that's the message. Have a great day.